Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much. We appreciate everybody that's taking time to come and join us tonight. We're going to talk about how to get healthy now with Dr. Jenny. Dr. Jenny is in the house. I know, it's so awesome. So, I want to tell you a little bit about Dr. Jenny. This is a live streaming event. We're going to multiple actual Facebook pages. Now, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mother of four, and a woman of faith. And she's also a TV personality, a public speaker, and the CEO and president of AgeVital, an integrative pharmacy and wellness center right here in Sarasota. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be going in, I'm going to be doing my second vitamin C IV drip so that I can get healthy and I can fight off this coronavirus that's going around, this pandemic that we're facing. And that's what we're going to be talking about as well tonight. um, She's going to be talking with us. We're going to take some questions. If you have questions for Dr. Jenny, please feel free to go ahead, put those in the comments, and we'll take a look at that. And we'll try and address your concerns because this is a difficult time for people. We're going through a major transition, but I want to just say we have to let go of the fear. Okay, this is about releasing the fear and grabbing a hold of the opportunity to really take care of some things that we've been putting off, to develop relationships and just be the calm in the
Mhm.
voice of this storm, right? So coronavirus has more than doubled. I mean, today the governor for the state of has put a stay in place requirement in. I guess it's a guideline. I don't know what you've seen about that, Dr. Jenny, but we'll be talking about that as well. So, what we have to try and do is prevent the spread of this virus. But without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Dr. Jenny with AgeVital. Hello and good day. How are you doing, Dr. Jenny?
I'm great. How are you, Stephen? Thanks for having me back.
You're very welcome. Thank you so very much for joining us. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to listen to this. This is an opportunity to get excellent information that you can apply to your life and make a difference and prevent this, coming down with the coronavirus. Or maybe if you have the coronavirus, we'll tell you about what you can do to get better and to get healthy. And I guess I'd start by asking you, Dr. Jenny, tell us about how this has affected you from a personal standpoint.
Well, let's see. It's affected my business for sure because it's made it a little bit more difficult for people to get out of their houses. I mean, I have a concierge pharmacy to begin with. So, I mean, we're very well prepared and have facilitated even, more delivery personnel and curbside. I mean, we were doing that when people are getting out of hospital or something, but now it's everybody. So we're having to, protect each other, my staff, my pharmacists, my nurses, my doctors, because we're not a hospital, but we are a
Right.
pharmacy and we're required to stay open and to be able to service the community. So, I mean, that's a blessing,
Yeah.
and a curse, I guess, right? If we're going to be exposed, because we have had people come in with temperatures and we have to send them to the hospital to go get kits. I should be getting some more kits here soon, within the next few days. I should have some more kits coming in where patients have the option to purchase and submit those kits to their insurance companies to be able to swab and send their laboratory tests out themselves without
That
going to the hospital.
that's excellent, and
Yeah.
certainly would save a lot of money as well.
Hmm.
I see I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. I apologize everybody for the feedback here. But so yes, it has affected a lot of businesses. I mean, pretty much everything is shut down here in town except for essential business. Now, I've been able to work
Pharmacies,
pharmacies, healthcare
clinics.
providers,
Hmm.
and I even know that the mother of my children is a healthcare provider. She's an occupational therapist, and they're in a bind. They don't even have masks or gloves or anything, so things are pretty tough out there right now. And so I'm going to just try and do everything I can to help as many people as I can through this. I just want to
Hmm.
let them know that we are here. Um, so, have you seen anything like this ever before in your life, Dr. Jenny?
Well, no, I guess just, the diabetes. There's how many people died from diabetes last year? 100,000.
Right.
Cancer. I mean, people forget that, yes, the mortality rate is really high for people over 70 years old, but I think people are unnecessarily fearful as well, where we do have to take, measures to protect ourselves, but there are ways to protect yourself. So, I mean, the social distancing, I mean, that in the past has been proven not to work, social distancing. This is an airborne virus. By contact, you can get it. So people passing money, touching each other's credit cards, touching gas station pumps, going and to the grocery store, opening. I mean, there's so many things on a daily basis that we touch, and virus can stay active there for 14 days.
14.
So when you're touching it, I mean, it's still there, live and active, and
So
then you're tracking it. But you can
I was,
inhale it too. So there's a lot of people that are contracting it like that. So the stay-at-home measures that Mr. DeSantis, our governor, had, said, this is a good thing. You want to stay at home if and the government is providing resources as well to be able to, pay for sick leave for companies. I mean, there is support coming, and it's a lot of paperwork, unemployment. But if you're at home, file for it. Take advantage of that situation. I mean, you're not without those options. It's just scary to think how rapidly it can pass. And this is so aggressive because it affects the lungs. And if you're autoimmune, and the majority of people all have some sort of inflammation of something in their body. This is the USA. Everything is designed to poison us, right? So we're all allergic to everything. We all have IBS. We all have constipation. Everybody has some sort of immune abnormalities, right? And not to mention the real autoimmune disorders like MS and Parkinson's and Lyme disease and fibromyalgia.
and so those folks are more susceptible at this point. Are you feeling that people that are healthy, that have a pretty healthy immune system, are pretty safe, and that it really is just the people that are compromised immune systems, or how you feel, or can anybody get this?
Anybody can get this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the things that we need to do is to protect ourselves and help the body process the virus faster. You can. Why does somebody get sick that doesn't have the same symptoms as somebody else? I mean, there are people that are walking around, they have it, but they're asymptomatic, but they still got it, right? So when does someone become symptomatic? Is when their immune system isn't functioning the same way. Our body has had an immune system since the beginning of time. It knows how to fight off viruses. But if your body does not have the tools to take from to be able to fight off the cytokine storm, right? The inflammation, because that's really what it's causing. It's causing massive inflammation in the body. It's destroying our red blood cells. It's destroying our white blood cells. So then we have to make sure that we're constantly manufacturing all these scavengers that can go in there and annihilate the virus. With everything, viruses all act the same. Their end game is to destroy the body, so you die, right? They attack. HIV virus, right? That's a virus.
Yes, it is.
Herpes, that's another virus. So how do we destroy viral overload in our bodies? How do we reduce that? By taking an astronomical amount of zinc, dosing up on vitamin D3 with the K2, melatonin. Research just came out on Science Direct. This is from peer-reviewed journals. Studies that just came out that melatonin stops the cytokine storm. I mean, that's huge. Melatonin, that's the hormone, that's an organic acid, a neurotransmitter that tells us to go to sleep, that allows us to go into REM cycle. Melatonin, it's so calming, but I have a theory as to why it's reducing the amount of cytokine storm in our body, the inflammation, right?
Right.
Because we're going into hibernation mode. And when you're hibernating like a polar bear, when you're sleeping, your pineal gland releases this melatonin. And that melatonin tells you to calm down and be quiet. And then you go to sleep. So when you're sleeping, your body's regenerating. It's recharging. It has the opportunity to go in and get rid of inflammation. That's where it's huge.
That's why sleep is so important, I understand.
Absolutely. Correct. And melatonin is at the highest in children. This is why children are not getting bombarded with this virus. They're not getting hit as strong. There are cases of children getting it, but it's adults. The majority of the people that are hospitalized, 45%, one of my dearest friends who works with infectious disease, Dr. Karen Leggett, here locally, she said 45% of who's hospitalized are people 20 to 55. It's not just the elderly.
Younger people, right. Younger people are getting it too. Absolutely.
Right.
Now,
right.
Can you explain to us how gut health it relates to our overall health, and how that is just so important? And that's I think where the probiotics come in. Would that be correct?
Yes, probiotics are very beneficial for keeping your immune system nice and strong. Number one, because the only place that we manufacture B12 is in our guts. And you know what manufactures that B12 in our gut?
No,
Probiotics.
I don't.
So probiotics, these are our little soldiers. And you got to think of your stomach as a fish tank, right? Everyone has had to own a fish tank at one time or another in their life, right? And now some fish tanks last a month and all their fish die within a month because people take care of their fish tank, just as well as they take care of their gut. They forget to alkaline it. They forget to feed that fish tank all of the chemicals to keep the fishes alive. So we have those intestinal fish in our gut. It's called microbiome. Hi, Randy Smith. How are you? I got people saying hi to me.
You do have lots of people.
Yes. And I'm sorry if I'm not. Hi, good evening, Caroline. Nice to thank you for jumping on. I like to acknowledge. But our intestinal fish, probiotics, go in there and eat up all the nonsense that's in our stomach that's causing us to get sick. So these intestinal fish even manufacture B12, and B12 is essential for brain health, right? So B12 stops depression and anxiety. And if you don't have enough microbiome, you're going to have depression, you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have cellular abnormalities, you're going to eventually become hypoglycemic or diabetic, because B12 plays a big role in regulating glucose and insulin. So, and then once that's not functioning well, you have that other chemical cascade where it starts to affect your endocrine system, so your hormones. So you see how important taking one supplement is just to be able to take care of your gut. So, and probiotics you can find in yogurt, in kefir. You can buy this in the grocery store. I went to the grocery store and no one's buying yogurt. It's like, why isn't anybody buying yogurt? I'm stocking up on it. Everyone's trying to go and buy everything else. And here I am, the dorky chemist, stocking up on piles of yogurt because it won't spoil. It's going to be, it's all good bacteria that you can eat and protect your guts.
So see, that's a simple thing that everybody can just go down to the store and they can get it from the grocery store.
Right. Or then you take supplements. I do the chewable probiotics for children. I have the capsules. The brand that I carry is from Vital Plus. It's the GI Ninja and the GI Torque. It's on my website on AgeVital.com.
Yes.
But and those are super strains. It's a 15 strain. They have to be refrigerated. And be taken right before you go to bed. Whoa, there it is. It's like the giant, the Bible, right?
I don't know why he's doing that. Let me see if I can do it differently for us. I don't know. There.
I love it.
How's that?
You're so much cooler than me, Stephen.
Now, when I was in last time, or maybe the time before that, you had prescribed some stuff for me. You had prescribed prescription probiotics to try and help get my gut health there. And
That's
so, and so this is what this is, correct?
Yep. GI Torque. Now, this is functional medicine. This is evidence-based. There are thousands upon thousands of clinical research, peer-reviewed studies on probiotics. I mean, 10 to 1, Stephen, 10 to 1. We are more microbial than we are cellular. And that's crazy, because if you know how many cells we have in our body, a trillion. We have trillions of cells. Yes.
I remember.
So we have more bacteria in us and on us. There.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. I blocked this out here. So how do I do this better? I don't know.
No, I like it. I like where you're going with this. This is very nice. There's me when I'm all dressed up.
There we go. And so this is about asking Dr. Jenny. So if you have some questions, and I did see a few questions here, And so let's get to that. But what I'll do is I'll start by just saying you were voted the naturopathic doctor of 2019. They honored you in Las Vegas. You're a researcher. You're a nutritionist. You're a naturopathic doctor. You are truly one of the smartest doctors I think I've ever run into in my life. And it all revolves around natural stuff, not taking this
Mhm.
big pharma stuff that's probably been hurting us for a very long time.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And thank you so much for all those compliments. Yes, that was an honor to be have been selected and winning top naturopathic of 2019 naturopathic physician. Yes. I mean,
Right.
there's so many amazing NDs, and there's 32 states that recognize naturopathic medicine. But the customers that I get, they're already there. They've evolved and get it and understand it. They understand that when they're going to a mainstream provider and they're presenting with anxiety, the doctor's going to write them for an anti-anxiety medication, right? What do they typically give? Xanax, right?
Right.
Valium, trazodone, Ativan. It's like, guys, we're not Xanax deficient. We don't test for Xanax receptors to see how. Let me go see what your Xanax levels look like today, so I can give you some Xanax. Here you go. You know.
Right, exactly,
So
and some
right.
people get hooked on that stuff, and then the next thing you know, they're just taking more of it than they should.
And it's causing prefrontal cortex damage and it's causing basal ganglia damage. So we're literally damaging our brain by taking these medications, these monoamine oxidase inhibitors, these SSRIs. They're bad for you. And the
Yeah,
antipsychotics, these are just band-aids for boo-boos. And they have a longer list of side effects than they do benefits. It's not getting to the root cause of the problem. And as a chemist, I'm telling people, would you put a different type of chemical in your car that wasn't gas? I mean, because that's literally what you're doing when you're taking these prescription meds. And there's a time and a place, Stephen, for allopathic medicine. It should be emergency medicine. I am friends with ER physicians, and they tell their patients, my job is to keep you alive. So I
right,
can send you to someone like Dr. Jenny so she can keep you alive and
exactly.
get you up so you don't wind up back here in the emergency room again,
And
right?
exactly, that's what it is. That's the Hippocratic oath that the doctors take. It is about saving lives. It is about helping people. And I know that you are a huge humanitarian as well. I mean, you really care about the community here in Sarasota, but really worldwide. And we've got a worldwide watching us right now. So I've got some questions here.
Hi.
Let's go to Randy. And he's got a question. Do you recommend any specific supplements to reduce the chances of contracting COVID-19?
Yes, I do. And Randy, thank you for that question. There are several antiviral medications that you can take that stop the replication of COVID. Um, so, for example, zinc, I have it in a lozenge form, or I have it in an injectable form, or we can send you IV bags if you have access to a nurse or a paramedic in your area that can come and do a house call, because that's what we're doing here locally.
Right.
If you're in the United States, I can help you look for somebody to come to your house, but the injections you could administer yourself. I took 15 milligrams today, and I'll take another 15 milligrams tomorrow. I'm injecting myself every single day because I'm in front of
Hmm.
customers and I'm going to people's houses. So I'm ensuring that I'm on top of my antiviral medication. So zinc is number one. And then boosting your immune system with vitamin D. Same thing. I have a spray, I have a capsule, or I have an injection that you can take a couple times a week. You don't have to take vitamin D every single day. If you've never done a vitamin D shot, I recommend 100,000 IUs right away. And all the research shows that vitamin D3 reduces 87% of flu and cold symptoms.
Now I put
Why
up
are we taking
the
Tamiflu? Tamiflu reduces your symptoms, your recovery rate by 1 day. So in vitamin D, 87%. I had the flu once. I never get sick, Stephen, ever. And I had it with my entire family. I thought I knew it was so humbling, and God put me through that experience so I can understand truly what people are saying when they say, I have the flu. Because you never know. guys tend to be a little bit wimpy most
Well,
often, you know.
and I've never taken a flu shot ever. Have never done it. Um, I don't know why necessarily, other than, boy, I try and avoid doctors if I can. You know, if I'm
Mhm.
really sick, then, I'm going to the doctor. That's a for real. But
Mhm.
what I would say about that is that I've been so blessed to be able to get to know you as well, Dr. Jenny, and have a doctor. And I've said this before. Now I have a doctor that can help me get healthy. I've been doing some of the things that we've been talking about, and planning tomorrow to go on in, do the vitamin C drip, get the liposome. Tell us about liposome, because that's an antioxidant. Apparently, it's the most powerful antioxidant out.
Oh,
And
the
so,
liposomal vitamin C that I make.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
And so
And
let's just clarify that, everybody. So all of the products, and we do have them available. She has them available on her website, as well as I have them available in my store on the LWN Foundation. And they're all compounded right here in Sarasota. I mean, this is right straight from the source. You develop these products as well. I mean, this is where your scientific end comes in. You compounded this yourself.
yep, I formulate all those products, the Vital Plus products. I formulated because I wasn't happy with what I was seeing over the counter. People, companies taking, cutting corners and still putting some junk in their products. When I'm like, why did they do that? Why did they put soy in there? And I'm not seeing labs change. So then I'm calling the labs, the vitamin company, saying, I just saw that you added soy lecithin into your product. They're like, oh, well, it's just so superficial and it's so minuscule. I'm like, no, it's messing with my women's hormones and they're still having hot flashes and night sweats. How am I supposed to balance them out if I'm recommending a supplement that's giving them more estrogen? So you
Right.
have to be careful. And, women are so complicated to begin with. We deal with hot flashes and night sweats and vaginal dryness and hair loss or wrinkles and
I know the
pollen.
hair loss lately.
And that's an easy fix. We can regenerate your hair naturally.
That's
You gotta
awesome.
check your growth hormone, look at your testosterone levels and your thyroid. Stephen, we're
Well,
gonna make you look young again. You should put up a
that sounds
picture of
good.
Dr. Jeffrey Life. Look him up. Dr. Jeffrey Life. He's got
I
six
need to
pack
write.
abs. Yep.
I'll write that down right now. Yeah, I need six pack abs. I tell you, you know that. We could use some help in that area. And gosh, well, now well, I don't have a whole lot of extra time yet, but
Mhm.
after today, it might change, because we do deal a lot with the public, so that's going to really come to a pretty much of a screeching halt. But I also, like today, was out in vacant homes, so that's a good thing that I'm able to do some work. And I know that people are dealing with that as well. Some people have lost their jobs as a result of this, and so they're looking for, thinking. I'm telling them, think out of the box. This is an opportunity actually where there were jobs that have been lost. There's been jobs that have been created, so we kind of have to adjust.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to go to another question here. I see Kimberly, uh, Helena Cohen Davis has a question. She has
Kimberly
diabetes.
Helena. Yep.
Yeah,
Hi, Kimberly. So you have
and
diabetes and depression. What would I suggest? So, diabetes and depression. Diabetes is diet related, unless you were born with it. And I'm going to guess that you weren't because um, not everybody is born with diabetes type 1, but diabetes type 2 is diet related. So, number one, I would switch up how you eat. I would switch to a keto diet or a low glycemic diet. So, cutting out a lot of the carbohydrates. Not completely, because you need carbohydrates to convert into healthy hormones, right? So, it's just knowing how to eat your carbohydrates. So you have two different digestive processes going on. Because I eat pizza, I eat hamburgers, I eat fried chicken. I treat myself. I'm able to eat that because I know how the body's biochemistry is supposed to act. So
I remember you said
Americans,
that last
yep,
time.
Americans eat protein and carbohydrates together. That's a big no-no. Lamb protein and carbohydrates is a big no-no. It slows down your digestive system and it takes over 24 hours for your body to digest it because you're creating protein linkage. You're creating a big barrier in your gut and your intestines where nothing is able to be pushed through your intestines, right? You got the peristalsis, that's what it's called. So that contractions that go. But instead, you just get burpy and gassy, and you get the acid reflux, and you get the GERD, right? Nobody wants that. It's not a sexy thing, you know? So, like, for example, breakfast. Make it a protein breakfast or make it a carbohydrate breakfast.
There you go.
Some mornings I wake up and I'll have a waffle with whipped cream, and I put honey all over it, and I put fruits. And that's my breakfast. If I would have added turkey sausage or bacon, which I don't eat, next to that, I would have ruined the whole entire digestive process, right?
That's
So
it.
don't combine the two. What do they do in America? Pizza, meat lovers, and then there's the carbs right underneath it. And it just induces weight gain. It misregulates your ghrelin and your leptin. So this is the hormones in your body that control satiation in your system. So you don't want your body not to know when it's hungry. So you're messing with those receptor sites. So that for diabetes is huge. It's changing your diet, picking your protein breakfast or picking your carbohydrates. My protein breakfast, for example, is a 4-egg omelet with spinach and turkey sausage. And then I have fruit on the side and I have yogurt. That's a breakfast. That's delicious. I didn't add toast to it. I didn't add a waffle to it. I didn't add, you see how that switches up a little bit?
I
I don't
do.
eat yogurt, it bothers my stomach. Gummy probiotics don't. Okay, so we're
So,
switching to a different question
so we're
here.
going to switch, and yes, and Christina,
And for
she's got
more
kind of a
info, Kimberly, give me a call. Call my store. And I mean, I have these guidelines. I have my protocols on my healthy eating plan on how to regenerate the gut. And I want to help Christina here because I know she's
yes,
just lacking
and
enzymes.
and I know that Kimberly is here in town. As a matter of fact, she's a friend of
Oh,
mine,
hi,
and she's
Kimberly.
yeah,
Yes,
so she's right down
1618
the
Main
road
Street.
here. So awesome, and so yeah, we want to get her healthy as well. Um, and I
Yeah,
did
send
want to
Stephen your information and then we'll reach back out to you.
exactly, and
And
well,
then Christina,
I'll to that in a minute. But Christina says that she wishes that she could eat the yogurt, but it bothers her stomach. But the gummy
probiotics
probiotics
don't.
don't.
That's
And then
because the
she's
gummy probiotic is a fully systemic probiotic, right? It's
okay.
got the enzymes, it's got the probiotic to ease digestion. Now, I don't know how many strains are in that gummy, but in order for you to enjoy yogurt again, because you should enjoy it, we can get you craving yogurt again and even milk, right? Whole milk. But it's all about taking lactobacillus, high doses of it. And we can test your probiotic levels to see if you have a deficiency in the essential microbiome that actually grows with your body. The probiotics microbiome is the more clinical name for it. But yes, if you get that GI torque, the big, huge GI torque that Stephen popped up on our screen,
Right. We'll pop
that will
that back
start
up so
helping
people
you.
can see that.
And a supplement called L-glutamine, I do have that on my website
Yep.
as well. And I think Stephen has it on his website as well. L-glutamine is an amazing amino acid. It helps to regenerate the lining of your stomach, and it helps rebuild that intrinsic factor. Now, when you have that intrinsic factor, it means you have all of the right types of acids and the thickness and the mucus that's supposed to be in your stomach, that when you bring foods down to your stomach, it's able to bring it down. It heats your stomach. So for anybody, the cocktail, coffee,
Well, I'm having a hard time here, and I know that the airwaves are heavy duty right now. I know that I couldn't even barely work with Facebook earlier, and I know that everybody's online. I think you've frozen up on my screen here, Dr. Jenny. Hopefully, you'll be able to come back right now soon. But also, Christina was asking about how much zinc is a good amount of zinc to take daily as well, and maybe you can address that question.
50 4 hours while this COVID is coming through. And then for children, 25 milligrams every 4 hours. Not obviously not when you're going to bed, but really high doses of zinc. In injectable form, which we sell the vial, I sell a 30 ml vial. It's 5 milligrams per ml. You can inject 3 mLs in the initial, or excuse me, 6 mL. So you're doing 2 different shots. When you're coming into my store, we're giving you 2, 3 ml, 15 milligrams each in there. So you're getting 30 milligrams initially just going right into your blood. It doesn't have to bypass the gut. There's no gut degradations in your blood. It's going in there. It's going to kill viruses. It's going to stop the replication of it so that virus doesn't implant in your DNA.
So what I'm going to do now too is there's several comments here, and if you have a question for
To New
Dr.
York,
Jenny,
Christina, that's no
yeah,
problem. We're
that's what I
shipping
was going
bags
to
of
say.
IVs to New York. New York is probably our busiest state right now. We have supplies going in there from masks, the gloves, to IV bags, vitamin injections. But I think every family should have a vitamin D vial and a zinc vial in their cabinet. So to take that even just weekly, the vitamin D every single week, it just reduces the intensity of colds, and once you have one, it reduces your recovery time. So I know I've had some employees that were that had the COVID-19 before it even became such a pandemic early on,
Right,
right in an early, but they were kicking it in 3 days with IVs and just 3 days. Who
3 days.
recovers in 3 days? Usually
So
cold, if you have a normal cold, it's 10 days, right? 7 days for a normal cold, 10 days for the flu. But then after that, you still have all the damage, and then you're putting yourself at risk of getting a secondary infection. And then you have ulcers from taking NSAIDs every hour to every 4 hours, 3 hours to reduce your temperature.
and they're saying that we need to stay away from that right now because that can cause a problem in
Yeah.
actually contracting.
Yep. It weakens your immune system because it gets rid of all your microbiome.
Okay. And
Yeah,
see,
but it
so
intensifies the.
I hope our viewers are hearing this. The bottom line is that Dr. Jenny is brilliant when it comes to having answers to this. She'll do the testing that is necessary as well to be able to help you. Now, you also have uh, it's called the telemedicine line. And we're going to be posting that up on our website as well. And Dr. Jenny has it on her website, which is www.agevital.com. And so people can call in and they can talk to you when they have uh, a situation or have a concern. And so you're reaching out from that aspect as well. And so tell us maybe a little bit about this call in line.
Yeah, so the telemedicine is welcome to, the future where, I mean, we're not doing invasive medicine here. We're talking about your health and your symptoms. All of the laboratory work can be done in the comfort of your own home and be shipped out even to the lab company, finger prick, saliva, blood spot, right? So you're talking to a health coach, you're talking to an age management counselor, you're talking to an RN, a pharmacist, a doctor, myself. And what we do is we go over your health needs, whether it's a cold, whether it's just concerns about, COVID-19. They're stuck in their homes. I think a lot of times people just want to talk to a healthcare professional, knowing that we're still out here, helping people. They want to know, they want answers.
Exactly. I'm going to go to Sandy Jew. She's coming to us from Australia, by the way. And she's asking if we go to pharmacies and you see a lot of choices of vitamin C, can you guide them as to which one to look out for, especially because she's in Australia? So, what should she be looking for in vitamin C, and what kind of dosages are going to be important to be able to build our immune system to the point so we hopefully would not contract that virus?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. There's so many different choices because there are synthetic versions of it too. So you're looking for the bioavailable vitamin C, the bioidentical, bio-natural. So just like if you were eating an organic, non-GMO grapefruit or piece of citrus, oranges, limes, lemons, right, with seeds in them. So the sodium ascorbate is the bio-natural vitamin C, and that's the ingredient that you want to look for. So look for a vitamin C that says sodium ascorbate, and that's usually in liposomal liquid form. So go for that. If you can't find that, do the ascorbate acid. So that would be the second, best option. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Kristen Strong. Christine Strong.
Yes, Christine. And I know Christine. I hadn't seen her. Hi, Christine. How are you? I hope you're doing well.
Look at that little
Gosh,
beauty on her
I
profile.
yeah, he is a beautiful little one, and I haven't talked to Christine for a little bit. Thanks for joining us this evening, Christine, and we hope that you're doing well. She's up in northern Florida, by the way. Um, so thank you, and then Shirley Connolly, she says hello to everybody as well. She's
Hi,
coming to us
Shirley.
from Ontario, Canada. Great person. You know, we want to be thinking about her, though she's gone through a little bit of tragedy. Well, she's gone through a lot of tragedy, honestly. And someday soon, we're going to be having her on the show as well and just sharing her strength. Um, Randy's got the questions going on here. Anybody else can ask a question as well, but he's asking. He says he rarely feels ill, but his buddy takes Focus Factor as a supplement. Do you think that's any good, Dr. Jenny?
Well, let's find out. Focus factor. Let's see who makes it and what's in there, right? Focus
Exactly.
factor
Now, see,
ingredients. Because
that's the important factor, everybody. All of these products that Dr. Jenny has are organic. They're natural. Um, you know, these are good for you. Um, and she's got the education to be able to make sure that you're doing this the right way, and that's what's so important. Um, you know, I just say that I am blessed that we have these products in our store. That I'm right down the street from Dr. Jenny. We've got some exciting things coming, and I'm just glad to be starting to get really healthy.
hmm
I just
Now it
work.
looks like it has a lot of great ingredients in it, and I'm looking at the actual ingredients. Now I'm going to try to research to see what forms they are in because it does make a difference. Like vitamin B12, it says vitamin B12, but it doesn't tell me what type of B12 it is. Is it in its cyanocobalamin form? Is it in a hydroxycobalamin form? Is it in a methylcobalamin form? Because there's a difference between the three. If it's the cyanocobalamin form, that means you're taking cyanide B12, and any supplement that has cyanide in it is not good. So
Cyanide.
you're welcome, Sandy Jew. But
Yeah.
that's true. And then even the form of B6, you want to look for the paradoxal 5-phosphate, not the paradoxal or the paradoxin hydrochloride. So you see one's a synthetic version that's man-made in a laboratory, and the other one's a bio-natural version, as if you would find it in nature. It hasn't been bastardized whatsoever. So
What?
taking synthetic vitamins are bad for you and causes inflammation. And the last thing you need when there is a virus going around is more inflammation, because that just makes you more susceptible to being symptomatic.
I want to say this right now because I know that for myself and probably a lot of others out there, they don't have health care insurance, and so that's a concern for people. But I look at it this way: I'm thinking that if I take care of myself, and I've got the best doctor in the universe. So she's going to help me get healthy. And it does cost money. But the point is, that is like paying for insurance, health insurance, because I am taking care of myself. Um, and so it's kind of like an offset to me as to spend that money in something that I know is going to take care of me, that's natural, that's not going to poison me, like you were just saying, Dr. Jenny. I mean, you were saying that stuff's got cyanide in it. A lot of these things have some pretty bad stuff in it, and I also know kind of. I don't know
hmm
I don't know the answers because that's why I have you, so that you can help to answer these questions and educate me. But when you're taking these medications, like the probiotics and um, and others, the vitamin D and the vitamin C, something about the oxid. I'm going to struggle on the word. How your cells take on oxygen. How is that related to absorbing these nutrients in a better fashion? So I'm asking, is there something that we're supposed to be taking to help our cells be at the best so that they can absorb these nutrients?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure your oxygen levels
Oxygen, yeah.
are yep, to par. because your arteries, you're only as healthy as your arteries, Stephen. So
Oh, okay.
Americans are so unhealthy because we're all metabolically obese. Means all of our arteries are so, blocked with just poisons and fats, saturated fats, and just free radicals. But your arteries carry cells that transport oxygen to all of the necessary nutrients to your heart and to everything in your body, your organs, yada yada yada. So you do need oxygen in order for your arteries to be
So what should we be
fed as well.
avoiding then? Because of course, clogged arteries lead to stroke, they lead to heart attack. What are the things that we should be avoiding then?
You want to avoid all the bad fat. So the fast food, the Cokes, the pop, right? The diet soda, the Twinkies. I mean, you have the natural versions of these different things too, but stay away from the fast food. And if you're going to eat the fast food, make it just once in a while, not every single day where you're stopping. And I know we're in this rush, rush, rush society. Nobody has time to make a meal anymore, and that's sad.
Yeah.
I grew up with a mom that cooked every single day, a dad that cooked every single day. We always had home cooked meals. We very rarely went out, maybe once a month we would be out in a restaurant as a treat, right? But
Hmm.
making sure you're eating lots of fruits and lots of veggies and a good amount of protein, healthy proteins, and measuring how much protein. I use my hand. So you measure the amount of meat that you can eat based on your hand size, right?
No. Okay.
So, yep. So a piece of meat would be from your pinky down here to your palm. So then you know what kind of red meat. So make your red meat choice no bigger than that. So pinky down to the base of the palm right here. And then your chicken, right? So your chicken could go to your ring finger. So ring finger all the way down. So and each piece of meat has different types of amino acids. And in fish, see, I can have a bigger portion of fish than I can my red meats, right? So my red meats, I probably eat once every 6 weeks. I will crave a filet mignon or
Right.
something different. You have certain amino acids. L-carnitine is
And
in red meats. The only
and
place
I want you to talk about that because you told us last time about how you like fish. You eat a lot of fish, the grouper and the various different types of fish. And is there some fish that's maybe better than others as far as getting good protein from it?
Oh yeah, tuna and salmon, just absolutely amazing. Salmon because it's got all of those good healthy fats. So you got the EPA, the DHA, all of the omega 3, 6, and 9s, the ALA, and fats are great for your brain. You need to feed your brain. We're in a generation where we're not feeding our motherboard. This is our motherboard. If this
Hmm.
fails, everything else starts to fail. So you have to take care of your brain. So people that have low energy because they're not eating enough proteins. I see vegans and vegetarians. I mean, they're anemic. When I'm looking at the red blood cells, they have ghost cells that they look like ghosts. So that's why they call them ghost cells. They're not red and plumpy. So they need to have a source of those amino acids that come from the foods, right? Even if they're plant-based amino acids that have been concentrated in daily recommended value, right? Which I have. I have vegan amino acids, so everybody can take it. And then I also have the amino acids from, whey protein. I have the protein powder, but you need to take amino acids every day. It's the building blocks to everything.
There we are. I,
Second most fundamental thing in our body, Stephen, besides water.
amino
Without
acid.
amino acids, we don't have this, big cascade of enzymes and organic acids and neurotransmission. A lot of people are depressed too because they're not eating enough amino acids. Tryptophan is an amino acid found in turkey. This is why everybody on Thanksgiving falls asleep because tryptophan converts into 5-HTP, the 5-hydroxytryptophan, and that makes you tired, makes you go to sleep. That's serotonin. Then it converts it to serotonin into 5-HIA, 5-HIA into melatonin. So you see that chemical cascade, how important it
Yes.
is.
Yes, very important.
And
Now,
here we are back to melatonin, you know?
yes, back to melatonin. And I just want to say Mike Chavez. I know Mike Chavez from Live
Mhm.
Masters, by the way. And some of these people that are watching tonight are part of that Live Masters group. But he talks as well about how everything is based on our genetics. And I believe that a lot of what you're doing is also related to the genetic makeup of the individual. This is why you're doing the testing that you do and the evaluation, correct?
Yep, yep. And I do all of the genetic testing to see how people metabolize everything that they put in their body and how they metabolize drugs, because I think it's malpractice not to look at someone's genetics.
Mhm.
An easy example that I think anybody can follow is men go to urologists to get Viagra,
Right.
right? They're having erectile dysfunction and the doctor writes Viagra, but did he do any genetic testing to match him to the Viagra? So there's a company
Yeah.
called PharmSam that does probably the most comprehensive genetic testing out there. They're looking at over 678,000 different markers. But,
That's
what if the
well,
patient is better, matched with Cialis or Levitra, two other erectile dysfunction drugs? So the Cialis can give one man a heart attack and not give another man a heart attack or a stroke, right? So it's very important to be able to know what your genetics is when you're taking supplements. So when I'm doing the testing, we're taking that into account. How someone metabolizes, matching them with an injection, a troche, a cream, based on their uh, biochemical individuality. So that was a good question. Who was the one that asked that?
yes,
I
that was Mike Chavez, and I know that
know.
Mike is working with a company as well that does nutritionals and supplements based on genetic testing, and then subscribe or
Good. I
prescribe
got a twin out there.
so, prescribe stuff that's made for you, and that's
Mhm.
what you're doing as well, is making it specific to the patient, not just saying, "Okay, well, you can take this," and that's because they bought donuts for me last week and took care of the staff, because I was in the healthcare industry. I know how that works too, "We need you to
Mhm.
push this medicine," I had sales reps that were pharmaceutical reps too, you know? But, so yeah, I learned a couple things about how that works.
Mhm.
But that's not how you operate. This is not how
Right.
you operate.
Yeah, and your DNA changes and mutates on a daily basis. So
Okay.
how do we, yeah, how do we rebalance that? I mean, we live in a society, like I said, that's mutates our genetics all the time.
Right.
Xenoestrogens, phytoestrogen exposure, even spraying pest control on your yard. There's so many studies about dogs having seizures because they're running on golf courses and
Mm,
they're wondering why this whole, community of people are having dogs that always have seizures. There's so many studies. And so you have to be careful. So if we live in a toxic environment, you have to take, because people aren't going to give up their smartphones,
right,
right? It's just you have to set limits to yourself. I set limits on my children on how much 5G exposure,
right.
right? That they're
Now
allowed to get 4G exposure.
now, I'm just gonna throw this in and just I'm gonna be interested to see how what you think about this, but, I was listening to Bruce Lipton this morning, and he was talking about, he does epigenics, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I just have to believe that there's a lot of truth to what he talks about with respect to it is about our thinking, okay, our mental state, and how that can actually change the chemical makeup of our genes. Is that something that you think is valid?
Well, yeah, because the power of the mind is so profound, right? Just
Right.
thinking positive thoughts, even positive words, the energy that you're producing. We're all conscious beings. So now we're going to go a little bit into spirituality. You're trying to get spirituality talking at me. But yeah, no, I mean,
I
I'm a big believer in that. That's
y-
what if you see a lot of my posts, if
yeah.
one person gets touched by it, then I'm happy. Where
Okay.
somebody sees it or sends me a private message telling me that I posted something that was very fitting to what they were going into, times of darkness, being like, staying strong. I mean,
I don't know
take
what's
a
going to
palm
happen
tree,
here. I
for
don't know what's
example,
up here. I
right? You
just
have the
lost the
power of
thought.
your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength,
So
right?
this is one that you just did recently. You have
Yep.
power over your mind,
Hmm.
not outside events. Realize this, and then you will find strength. You know, things like health as well. This is one of your recent posts
Hmm.
up there. I know that you're on Instagram a whole lot, so now you are out there on the social media. So let me just adjust this again and tell us, how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to do this?
They can send me an email, jenny@agevital.com, JENNY at AGEVITAL.com, or go to my website, www.agevital.com. So it's age, AGEVITAL, like what is your age, and vital health. So Age Vital. And I came up with that name because, yeah, Age Vital. And then I
Big
have the little
name.
leaf. Yep. Some people say AgeVital. Sounds
Ajvita.
nice. Yeah, because I got the little accent, the little leaf. My Europeans get me.
That's so awesome.
Yep, or they can call, international. We get international calls all the time. They can go to our website and schedule Zoom meetings. And I mean, Zoom meetings are 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You can have an hour consult. It just depends on where you are, what your goals are, but it is. My products all have body, soul, and spirit, is because I do believe in the end it's here. And we're being poisoned. We're in an era where we have enslavement of the mind. People aren't thinking clearly anymore because we're surrounded by too many pollutants. Our foods are polluted. 90% of our crops are from GMOs, and there's no nutritional value in GMOs. Seedless grapes. I think I mentioned that in our last
Mhm.
podcast.
Did.
Anything without seeds is not something natural. You want it to have seeds. You want watermelons with seeds. You want grapes with seeds. You want oranges with seeds. You want apples with seeds and lemons with seeds. That's what's good for you. Then you know that it's real. You can replant it. You can take those seeds and you can make life out of it, right?
Exactly, and I think these days it might be smart to start a garden, as a matter of fact, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. My
because
children love the veggies we grow. If we buy them, they don't eat them. But if they grew them, they're like, "Oh, I grew this tomate, mom."
well, what do you see for the future? We talked about how it's had an impact because people aren't walking the streets like they used to, and so things are evolving. We're making adjustments to uh, a new world. I think there's a lot of good benefits in what's happened. It's raised our awareness. Hopefully, we'll be taking more. Um, well, have a higher awareness and take more precautions and start thinking about our health and our wellness and how important that is. And if we do the right things, then we can live a very fulfilling life and a very long life as well. And so I want to know what you think. What's the future hold here, and how this pandemic is affecting us, and what do you see happening in the future?
Well, I think there's multiple numbers of futures, right? Depending on where people are, but they're all dependent in the end, Stephen, on how our government, our community, our society responds to the coronavirus and the economic aftermath. I mean, because there are so many people struggling right now and they're scared. And then hopefully we will use this as, this type of crisis. Maybe this is going to be a big, eureka to rebuild, to produce something better and more humane. But we may slide into something worse, right? That's always a possibility.
It is a possibility. I'll go back to it because I think it deserves to be mentioned, absolutely, by Jeanette.
Hmm.
And she's stating about how the nurses are worried because the president didn't take it seriously and he knew about it and didn't warn anyone back in December. Now, I don't know if that's the case necessarily or not. But what I was wondering is that it seemed like leading up to this, there was a whole lot of people that I knew that were sick.
Hmm.
Very,
Yeah.
very
My
possibly.
children got sick in December before this was even, and it was one after the other. And if they didn't have me, I think, honest to goodness, they were so sick they could have very well had COVID-19.
Right.
But they were so sick for an entire month. I mean, sick with huge temperatures. Who knows if that's what they had? I thought maybe it was just something they picked up at school, but I was inoculating them with my goodies, my vitamin injections, and they did recover. But having 4 children, and I'm a mommy of 4, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. That's got to get a person very highly concerned. And so, what we are referring to tonight is to taking care of yourself and taking care of yourself from the standpoint of a proper health and wellness routines. And you can achieve those with Dr. Jenny guiding you to be able to achieve a better level of and quality of life by utilizing these natural and organic products and that are all compounded right here in Sarasota.
Mhm.
It's really awesome, and I really appreciate you taking time to come and share with us tonight. This is just so great. Um, I do feel very blessed to be able to know Dr. Jenny. I know her personally, and I would say this: if you have questions or you have concerns, reach out to either myself or Dr. Jenny. She's got the answers, and I know I don't have the answers, but I'll get the answers. I'll get her to get the answers for us, okay? Because that's what we want to do. We care about you. We're concerned about you. We know that this is a difficult time, and so. Bottom line is, that's why I'm just so grateful that she's here tonight and she's given us some great information. Do you have any last thoughts that you might want to share with the viewers here this evening, Dr. Jenny?
Protect yourselves. I see people walking around without masks. Do not go outside without a mask. Call me. I have masks. I'm always getting them in every week. The N95s. I have masks even from Thailand hospitals that are, their N95s are a little softer. They're rewashable. I have N99s. But wear masks, wear gloves. Would you walk into an Ebola pandemic without a mask? No, and this is the same type of deal here. I mean, when it gets you, it gets you. It could be you could be symptomatic, you can be not, but don't risk it because there are people that you're going to come in contact with. What if you're one of those people that doesn't have any symptoms but have it, and you give it to somebody,
Right.
someone that's in their 70s that has MS, or someone that has a weakened immune system, that has emphysema, or that has asthma. And I mean, that's not good. I mean, take it seriously. Wear a mask when you go out. I'm always, when I close my store right now, I'm going to be going out. I'm going to put on my mask because I haven't tested myself. I don't know. I'm not feeling anything. I always feel great, but I'm not going to risk somebody else's life because I'm not knowing.
Right.
Right.
So important. So what we need to do is we need to follow the guidelines that we're being given. Yes, it's a very difficult thing for some of us to comprehend, but if we take these steps now, we can put a stop to this and stop the
Mhm.
spread and not potentially infect somebody else. So
Yeah.
great advice.
This was one of my colleagues gave this to me with
Yeah.
love. Virus killers from Dr. Bill and Lily Cole. Dr. Noah, hell of a lot. But this is fun. This is super simple. This is something everybody can do. What he did, he does a Ziploc bag with a paper towel folded in there, and we put it with Lysol. So people are so busy trying to wipe areas when they should just take this, right? And put
Hmm.
their hand in it. And so anytime I go anywhere, when I'm outside pumping, now I just disinfect myself. I'm not wiping down surfaces because somebody else is going to come and use it again and again. No one, you don't know someone did or not, but this, I just disinfected myself. This
Excellent.
has got
See,
my Lysol, hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol,
there you go.
pads. There's so much, not just the alcohol. You could use hydrogen peroxide too.
That's so awesome. That's just simple stuff. I didn't know any of that, but that
Yeah,
makes
Randy
a lot of
Smith, I
sense.
do. I think I gave you a mask, didn't I? Didn't you come in? I
Um,
gave you a mask one day you came in.
yes, and I'm planning to get some more too, because I know that I know some healthcare workers that need to have them, and so we're going to try and fix them up as well. And
Yeah.
um, and I'm looking forward to getting my injection again because I just got to say, boy, did I feel really great the next day. I felt great that evening, but boy, the next day I just noticed such a difference. I felt so well. And so we want to thank everybody. Kimberly, thanks for being here. We want to thank every single person that's taken time to join us this evening. Hopefully you've learned something. Remember, I should have said this at the beginning, but I forgot. Share this video out. Wear your mask when you're outside. Do the right thing. You know,
Yes.
do the right thing.
Load up on zinc, load up on vitamin D, get your NAC for your lungs and acetylcysteine, get your selenium, get your melatonin, get your probiotics. And if you know a compounder like me, I can consolidate it all.
We talked about that last time I was there, didn't we?
Yeah, we
That's
did.
so awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool. Okay, so thank you again, everybody. Remember to share this out to your family, to your friends, to the groups that you belong to. Dr. Jenny is here. We're excited to be able to be partnering with her, and we just thank everybody for taking the time this evening. Dr. Jenny, you have yourself a great evening. I know that you got things that you got to do, and it's all good. And you have yourself a nice evening. Thank you, everybody else. I'll just go and see if there was any more comments. Randy was saying a good point. Carolyn Brown stopped in to say, uh, hi, how are you? And now she's out. That's fine. But I will hit this real quick. Is all genetic testing done by blood test, Dr. Jenny, or no?
No, swabbing.
Swabbing.
Mouth swab.
There you go. All right. So Christina needs masks. Is this something that you can order from you
Yep,
or
they can
no?
order, they can call. I sell a pack of 20 for a pack of 10 for $20, so about $2 a mask, which is my cost.
Right. And those were medical grade as well.
Yeah, medical grade. Yep.
Yes, that's what I
Absolutely.
thought
And
I
then I
saw.
just see so many. I was giving some out at Whole Foods the other day. I saw the cashiers not wearing them. I'm like, oh my gosh, you poor kids. I can't believe it. Where's your
Right,
manager?
right,
I said,
exactly.
how come you guys aren't calling pharmacies to make sure? Because we're going to take care, the consumer. If the consumer's wearing a mask, then our hospitals are not going to be overloaded because they're being protected. They're following, the universal precautions, right?
That's
So
exactly
we have
correct.
to get the consumers to protect themselves as well. So wearing masks is the number one. So wear a mask
Okay, so if
and
you
wear
need
gloves.
masks, reach out. Let us know. We'll get Dr. Jane's going to fix you right up. So, all right, that should do it for now. I'll let you go. Thank you so very much. I'll be looking forward. I'm going in tomorrow. I'm getting my IV. I took some photos. You remember? Well, you want to get me that video that you took? Remember when we were together last time? I want to put that
Oh,
together,
that's
right?
right. Yes.
I
I'll
want to
send
put
it
it
to you from our
together
last visit.
because yeah, I had. Well, I'll take some more video as
I
well.
think we did an IV drip together.
We did. We did not.
Yes.
We drip
I
together.
had my vitamin C, 50,000 milligrams. You did too. And
Yes,
then did the glutathione, and then you did the vitamin D injection.
I did.
Yeah.
I tell
So
you
lots
what,
of energy. It makes your skin so clear. You don't have to wear any makeup.
you're beautiful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Stephen. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
We will do that. And
Goodbye to all your
everybody else, take
friends.
care. Thank you very much for joining. And the LWN Live with Nature will be back for the Sunrise Daybreakers tomorrow morning. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about Thankful Thursday and being grateful. And that gratefulness, that helps people be happy because it triggers oh, come on, Steve. It triggers the neurotoxins, the neurotransmitters, excuse me. This is why we need a doctor because I don't know all the answers. Thank you so very much. Let's be happy. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.